In the last episode of the Marseille Career Mode, we signed homegrown talent Antoine Hernandez and midfielder Richard Bazor. We lost our opening match of the season in the Trophy des Champions, but redeemed ourselves in the Champions League, advancing to the knockout stages. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Flick here. Welcome back to another episode of our FIFA 21 Marseille Career Mode. This is episode number 2, where we'll be completing the remainder of this first season. And I didn't specifically mention this in the introduction to the series, but we will be following the half season per episode format, just like we've done in each of the career modes in FIFA 21. New videos should be dropping roughly every week, so hopefully they'll give you all a good idea of when content will be going live, so you can get involved in the comment section and any transfer suggestions. But as far as performances go, I'm pretty happy with how the club is doing. Currently find ourselves 3rd in Ligue 1, and that is crucial for us because the top 3 teams in France automatically qualify for Champions League the following season, with a big aim of this series being to repeat Marseille as Champions League winners, just like they did in the 92-93 season. I want to help improve our odds and be involved in Champions League as a competition each year. But the focus for now will be on Champions League this season. We've advanced past the group stage, finishing 2nd in our group. And we do have a difficult fixture in the round of 16 as we've matched up against Liverpool. We've seen a couple of standout performances in the squad so far, a couple of players improving in their overall rating and others just playing well for the gameplay fixtures, but a few areas of concern. Mandanda has already started to drop in his overall rating. I didn't think it would happen this quickly, but fortunately we found a couple of goalkeeper options from last episode's scouting network in France. And the player that I have decided to promote is Olivier Lafont, the 17-year-old with an overall of 60, potential of 70 to 94. And it's not often that you see a youth academy player with a trait already developed. The goalkeeper flat kick trait may be useful for counterattacks. Last episode's youth academy promotion, Antoine Hernandez, has performed exceptionally, already going up +3 in his overall and quickly catching up with the rating of Payet, who will have the starting 11 spot for now, but I think it's only a matter of time before they're equal on rating or Hernandez succeeds him. It's a difficult decision to make because Payet is a crucial player to Marseille's history. He has the most assists for the club, and I wanted to play a long-term squad role, but maybe not always as a starting 11 player. We can always use that development plan and convert him to a center attacking mid where he might play better. I also made it a point to ask about 2 players in our starting 11 with contracts expiring at the end of this season. If you're not up to date on current Marseille news, I think both Amavi and Thauvin have contract negotiations going with Marseille, but it's not entirely sure whether they'll be staying at the club or joining another club on a free transfer. But for the purposes of our save and based off of their performances in the career mode so far, I've decided to renew contracts for Amavi, Thauvin, and Kawi. I'll admit I didn't know too much about this 25-year-old center attacking mid prior to starting the career mode, but upon doing some research, I found out he's been doing fairly well for Marseille this season. He netted a brace in a February fixture against Nice. And with squad depth being a necessity, I figure we may as well develop some storylines and maybe even have dynamic potential take over for a player like this. I'm going to be transfer listing German as well as Roca. These are 2 players that haven't really featured for us, but they have a decent market value, so I think we can get some additional funds that way. Older players in the squad like Nagatomo and Pele will both have their contracts running to an end. They may even retire at the end of the season. We have some important decisions to make in January. I'd like to invest some more funds into the squad to help improve our chances of progressing in Champions League. And as things stand, we have 21.4 million to work with in our transfer budget. However, by transfer listing players like German, we can see that number go up. He was sold to Braga for 4.6 million, 3.4 million of which added to our transfer budget, and even offers coming in for some of our high potential players like Camara. I think it's inevitable before some of our star players leave the club. I am trying to keep transfers realistic after all, and sometimes letting players move on to the next stage of their career is the best thing to do. But for the time being, I'm going to be rejecting this offer from Manchester United. There's no reason for us to let him depart. He's such a big part of our midfield, and his overall rating is only going to go up from here. After transfers were all said and done, we have about 25 million to work with for player arrivals. And I think there's 2 routes that we can go. First, we could attempt to sign Milik on a permanent basis. He is just here on loan for 2 years. But with him being the current top scorer for the club, I'd like to make this transfer permanent. But unfortunately, we don't have quite enough funds to meet his market value. So I think we'll revisit this topic for season 2. And instead, we'll be focusing on the right back position. Staying here in France to sign a player from another Ligue 1 club was a big priority to me, and I truly believe Fabian Centonze is exactly the right fit for us at right back. Has good enough pace as well as passing dribbling ability to be involved in the attack, but even on the defensive side of things, he's put up some good performances against top Ligue clubs. Still just 25 years old, he has a lot of room for growth, and we've seen from some prior cases how much dynamic potential can help improve a player's overall. As far as the transfer is concerned, we managed to sign him for just 17.5 million, not too much more than his current market value. His contract was finalized to having an important squad role on a 4-year deal with a wages set to 28.5 grand a week. With some funds still left over, I think now is the perfect time to expand upon our youth academy. Right now, we just have the one 5-star, 4-star scout, but we'll be signing 2 more, a 4-star, 5-star scout from the Netherlands, and also a 4-star, 5-star scout from France. I appreciate all the comments left leaving suggestions for what other countries we should scout out. Our initial scout will be staying in France for 6 months looking for any type of player. I think this will be a permanent scouting network for the entirety of the career mode, but I think it is important that we also set up a scouting network in South America, specifically Brazil, looking for a technically gifted player. If you watch my latest upload on how to keep FIFA 21 career mode interesting, you'll know that I like to set up scouting networks in countries that tend to have a rich history for that specific club. For Marseille, Brazil is the top foreign country which players have come from. A total of 23 players, in fact, including a current player in Luis Enrique, as well as a former player in Luis Gustavo. But this next scouting network in Ghana is one that I'm really excited about because it ties in a little bit of Marseille history. Abedi Pelé scored the sole goal in the 93 Champions League final. He was a longtime player in Ligue, captained the Ghanaian national team, and he also, fun fact, has a couple of sons in FIFA 21 that you might know of. The first being Andre Ayew. He's over at Fulham in this save, so he's been reunited with his brother in the Premier League, Jordan Ayew, the 77 overall striker at Crystal Palace. I thought it would be good to look at what some of the other clubs in our league are spending in this January transfer window. So any club that has spent 10 million or more euros, I'll be highlighting here. PSG spending 84.7 million, signing Brozovic and Gundogan. Stade Reims also pretty busy, spending 12 and selling 13.5 million worth of players. Monaco, another team battling for the league title, bringing in Bentancur and Joaquini. Finally, Lille have brought in 2 players to the club, Guardiola and Figueroa. I've also started to keep track of some former Marseille players that are getting up there in age and the hopes that we can sign their regen at some point in this career mode. I was surprised to see Cesar Azpilicueta has joined Monaco here in France, and he looks to be a big part of their defense. Andre Pierre Gignac still going strong in Mexico with Tigres. We do have a retiring player though. Franck Ribéry will be leaving Fiorentina at the end of the season. That means his regen should pop up in Serie A or the free agents. Some small dev plan changes as I've switched Payet to the wide winger dev plan to help slow down the declining of his pace. Antoine Hernandez will be going to the inverted winger dev plan to most noticeably improve his shooting statistics. But I've got to say the squad is looking healthy and in good shape as we get involved in some exciting matches to close out the remainder of this first season. Knockout stage of Champions League, a new competition in the Coupe Nationale, and of course, Ligue 1. Champions League is going to be one of the biggest challenges, but also one of the main objectives for this save, so it's probably best that we have difficult competition early on, like Liverpool. The sooner that we can get acclimated to this sort of team, the better, and they haven't actually made too many signings yet in this save, just the one at right center back, bringing in Jimenez. And while the home simulator result put us at a disadvantage, we weren't exactly out of it. Amavi of all players scoring for the one shot that we had on target. But I think of all the players in our starting 11, the one that had something to prove was our homegrown talent, Hernandez. We decided to give him the nod to start in this one, as he is now level on Payet's rating, and we'll see what he can do here against Liverpool. A nice initial save by Mandanda to keep this match at 0-0. And now it is our new right back signing. Centonze pushing the ball forward and showcasing exactly why we signed him, setting up Talvan with a decent effort on the near post. Definitely an eventful first half here, as this time it's Wijnaldum played through. He scores so often in career mode, making those attacking runs from the midfield. He will give Liverpool the opener. And as we take a look at the replay, the error was dragging our left center back out of position. Need to be more careful about that. So a lot of time left in this one, though. We just need the 2 goals to draw things level. Hernandez set up with a spectacular assist here also has the composure to find the back of the net. This is exactly why we started him. He has more pace than Payet and offers something different. And if you are going to defeat Liverpool, it has to be on counterattack, so we need another effort like this one. We're just before the halftime break, and we need to be careful about conceding another goal. Somehow Salah remains on the ball as we put in a good block there from Chaletakar and move forward to the second half. Another good counterattacking opportunity. However, Milik is going to be called offside just by a few yards. We'll be forced into making a substitution in the 62nd minute. Kamara had the least stamina going into this match, and we'll need to rely on one of our squad rotational players to hold it down at center defensive mid. Some more nervy moments here towards the end. We're all the way into the 73rd minute, and while this looked like a routine pass back, apparently we didn't have enough power loaded up on the clearance. And as a result, Liverpool are going to double their advantage. Out of all the ways to concede a second goal, this isn't how I anticipated, but it's going to happen from time to time in FIFA. Our momentum was pretty much gone by this point. Liverpool, for whatever reason, continued pushing forward attackers rather than just seeing out this lead. But we didn't make the most of it. Payet got brought on towards the end of the match. Good save by Alisson. And one final chance here. It's Immobile, who I guess was another transfer by Liverpool, brought on as a substitute in this one, who's denied by Mandanda. Mane trying to create something on the near post, hitting the post, but that will be the final highlight of the match. We do lose to Liverpool 4-2 on aggregate. I think this is the sort of scoreline most people predicted, but not a bad outing by any means, and I think we've showcased this throughout the career mode so far, really hanging in there with top sides like PSG and Liverpool. And I said it in the last episode, I'll say it again here, give us a couple of seasons and I think we can turn the table and become one of the best sides in Europe. A quick update for y'all on some of the fixtures in the Coupe Nationale. Because there are so many matches involved in this competition, I'm going to be simulating the majority of them. If we go on to progress to the later stages, then I will then play the gameplay fixtures for those matches. But starting with the round of 32 fixture against Toulouse, we ended up defeating them 2-0. And this was a good opening fixture matching up against the Ligue side. As we move forward to the round of 16, not quite as easy as we have a fixture against Lille. We do go on to win that match on penalties 5-4. That puts us into the quarterfinals against Lyon, who I'm sure have won this competition a couple of times. And again, it's a 5-4 result on penalties as we advance to the semi-final against Monaco. Last side not named PSG to win a Ligue 1 title. They are actually fighting for the title in this career mode. Making some notable transfers, Azpilicueta is the one that stands out to me at the left center back position. And while Monaco may look better on paper in terms of their Ligue 1 position and the transfers that they've made in this career mode so far, I genuinely believe we can match up against any side in France on our day. Another thing that I look forward to in the Coupe Nationale is rotating our side a little bit. On the ball there was Kawi, who we did renew the contract for, and hopefully in some of these fixtures, if he can perform well, he can start to work his way into the starting 11 for more Ligue 1 and maybe even Champions League fixtures if we can qualify for that next season. But Hernandez with another breakaway, very similar to the first goal he scored in today's episode. He will get another counterattacking goal here. It's so nice to have a homegrown talent that I think can fulfill their peak potential. We've had some promising players in previous saves, but no one as good as this. Maybe it's the fact that he fits perfectly into this side as the future replacement to Payet, but it'll be interesting to see what sort of contributions he can make to Marseille in future seasons. Throughout this match, we're going to highlight some huge defensive stops. That one from Centonze was big. And here, on a breakaway in the 84th minute, it's Gelson Martins, who's denied by Mandanda. He's done this a couple of times so far in the save, making big stops where it counts. And he'll do it again here, leading us to a 1-0 result and putting us through to the final of the Coupe Nationale. For the remainder of the season, we'll be rotating between some Ligue 1 fixtures and that final match in the Coupe Nationale. But for now, our focus will be on Saint-Etienne, who currently hold the title for most Ligue 1 championships with 10. They've regressed quite a bit, though, as they now struggle to remain in the top flight of France, although a win will certainly help their chances to maybe keep their place in a promotion playoff final. We're also fielding a rotated side in order to preserve player fitness, so I'm not counting this as an automatic victory. Benedetto with a good start, though, turning the defender. The ensuing effort was right at the goalkeeper, though. As we move forward to the second half, it's Saint-Etienne in the 51st minute, who set up Stefan Jovetic. The former AS Monaco man has made the transfer, and he's doing what he can to keep them in Ligue 1. He's actually one of my all-time favorite strikers in FIFA, all the way back in FIFA 13 when he was still at Fiorentina. He had an incredible amount of potential in career mode, so I always remember those days, but We're all the way in the 63rd minute as we attempt to make some substitutions, Milik being brought on to hopefully get a goal. We really can't afford to drop points as we continue to fight for a top 3 spot in France, but it is going to be some good build-up play, unselfish from our attackers to eventually set up Nsham. The attacking run from the midfield ended up working out in the 68th minute as we tie things up. A good look at the replay here as his power shot had too much power from the keeper to stop from going in. We might even be able to sneak away 3 points here as Hernandez in the 83rd minute is going to showcase some of his skills. The scoop turn to get it on his preferred right foot. The following effort just narrowly wide. One final chance in the 95th minute. We're well past the 2 minutes of added extra time. And as we try to make something from the corner kick, the ref does call for full time. So just the draw today. But considering how well Saint-Etienne played defensively, I'll absolutely take 1 point. So here's the current situation. On the 22nd of May, we match up against Lille for our final league match. On the 5th of June, we have Strasbourg in the final of the Coupe Nationale. It should make for some tense moments as we just have a 3-point advantage over Lyon for that top 3 spot, which ensures Champions League next season. Although I think Lille are a quality side, I'm not too sure of their tactics, choosing to feature Renato Sanchez as a right midfielder instead of a central midfielder where I think he performs best. With this being the first season, we're still getting used to some of the tactics of our opposition. Lille are one of the teams that are always pressing, very similar to how Liverpool played against us in the Champions League. So we've got some familiarity there, but we really didn't make the most of our opening efforts. A good save by Magnan on his near post, as in the 35th minute, it's a chance for Hernandez to set up Milik with the perfect pass, but he just mishits it on the volley. Sad to see that, especially considering he is our top goal scorer this season, but we do respond just before the halftime break. Milik with a cross goal effort, finding the back of the net and giving us the 1-0 advantage. This is why I want to sign Milik on a permanent basis. Consistency is key, especially in a one-striker formation. And although he's not the youngest player, I still think he is young enough for dynamic potential to kick in and maybe even see the 90s for his rating if he can continue as one of the top goal scorers for the club and in all of France. But I've got to hand it to Mandanda. Despite dropping a few in his overall, he consistently makes saves on his near post, and he's one of those goalkeepers that play fairly well in game regardless of his ratings. So I'm not entirely sure if he's going to stay as our starter here at Marseille. Maybe we make an upgrade next season. Same thing could be said about Payet, how long he's going to be in this club or whether we transfer list or loan list him. We'll see how things do progress. But here in the 66th, the ball's kind of bouncing around, eventually falling to Rongier, who I am quickly having him as one of our best players here at Marseille. Reminds me a lot of James Ward-Prowse in the Southampton save and even Carlos Soler in the Valencia save. It seems like we always end up having a quality box-to-box midfielder, and Rongier has been that for us. At this stage, we've basically guaranteed Champions League for us. There's no way Lille are going to come back and score 3 goals in the 2 minutes of allotted extra time, but they do get 1 goal back in the 90th minute. I'm sure something is still on the line for them, so they're still fighting for a draw, and it's Renato Sanchez who drifted more centrally towards the end of this match. Maybe if they did that earlier on, they could have seen a different result, but I'm certainly not complaining. Champions League secured for us next season as we look to build upon this year's round of 16 finish. The entire season has built up to this, the final of the Coupe Nationale against Strasbourg. A chance for us to win a trophy already in our first season, and realistically I think our tactics are going to fare up very well against our opponents. They're using a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, and considering how much we like to use our wingers in the 4-3-3 defensive, I'm going to be relying on the play of Hernandez and Talvan in this one. As we walk out onto the pitch, you got to think about our journey here to the final. We've beaten some quality opposition, whereas Strasbourg has had an easier road to the final. But we specifically need to hand it to Centonze's former side Metz, who defeated PSG in the round of 16. Throughout this season, our defense has consistently seen improvements. I can't pinpoint exactly what it is. Maybe it's been the addition of Centonze at the right back spot, or maybe just a little bit of luck factoring in. But whatever it is, I'm going to keep trying to build upon it. As we do get our wingers involved, it's Talvan from the right side, playing it across to Hernandez. I was talking about how much I want to get our wingers involved, and we do just that here, scoring the opener in the 41st minute, and one of the best assists of the entire season so far. Very similar to some of the prior matches in the Coupe Nationale, we didn't have a lot of chances to double our lead. A well-read effort there by the defense to stop Talvan's fake shot as they try to get the ball forward, but we are swarming them, winning back possession right away. Amavi pressing the ball forward. It's Milik who now has the support of his midfielders. Rongier back in the middle to Milik, playing a quick pass to Bazour, who is taken out inside the box. Absolute heartbreak for the Strasbourg defender, but a chance for us to double our lead. And at this stage in the match, if Milik can convert the penalty kick, I think we will end up winning the Coupe Nationale and adding our first trophy for Marseille. We're going to go to the left. It's a yellow time finish, but it's enough to get it by the keeper, giving us a 2-0 advantage. It sums up the season pretty well. Milik to get what will be the final goal scored for us. We even had one final highlight in the 90th minute. Bazour getting inside the box once more, but Ayer puts a stop to that, gets it cleared, and the ref will call for full time. Who knows how long this career mode is going to go? I do plan on sitting out until we win the Champions League final and become the best team in France. Maybe even looking to win a treble here with Marseille. But again, I'm looking to get you all involved as much as possible. Whatever storylines you think we should build upon here at the club, just let me know down in the comment section. I review them after every single video. And I'm sure this is a special moment for Mandanda lifting the trophy. Who knows how long his place as the starting goalkeeper here at Marseille will last. So the fact that he's had a chance to lift a trophy for us here is perfect, and maybe we'll look to replicate the same sort of thing for Payet in future seasons. But due to the number of competitions we were involved in, we have a lot to recap here at the end of the episode, talking about who some of the top clubs and players were in Ligue 1, as well as Champions League and other competitions. It was a season that got a little nervy at times, but ultimately I was extremely happy with how we progressed with Marseille, completing a top 3 finish. And a bit of a surprise as PSG have been dethroned as Ligue 1 champions, Monaco winning the title just 3 points ahead of them. But as we switch focus to the bottom 3, it's Saint-Etienne, Lorient, and Nimes that will see relegation. Troyes and Guingamp were all eligible for promotion. It was ultimately the Ligue 2 side that saw a victory in the promotion playoff final, so we'll see some turnover in Liga next season. It was no surprise to see Milik finish as the top goal scorer for the club, 24 goals from 46 appearances. We need to find a way to sign him on a permanent basis because I don't know what we would have done without him this season. Talvan also a good outing, 14 goals from 50, and Hernandez finishing in the top 3 and in double digits as well, 11 goals from 34. A 3-way tie for top assists though, as Rongier, Talvan, and Payet all finished with 8 assists. Ultimately, Payet, despite declining in his stats, I was still happy with his contributions, and I think both Rongier and Talvan have a bright future ahead of them. Hernandez finished as the top growth player for the club, a +6 in his overall rating. That's pretty impressive considering he only went up +1 with the depth plan position change, and I think this may be the first homegrown talent that we see become a big part of this career mode. A solid outing from a 24-year-old Rishedli Bazour, +4 in his overall, up to a 79. And again, no surprise as Kamara, one of our highest potential players, sees a +3 up to an 83. Clearly, Ben Yedder and Volland played a big role in Monaco's success. They were the first and second most goal scorers in Liga. 30 goals for Ben Yedder, 26 goals for Volland. We did have at least one player in the top 15 with Milik, 22 goals from 35. And a few more appearances for the assist category. Payet with the third most assists, 7 from 26. Tolvan with 7 from 37. And we also had Rongier with 7th from 35. Really not a lot of clean sheets for Mandanda, but I think he stepped up in the matches that we needed him to. He was all the way down in 10th with 6 clean sheets from 38, so it might be time for us to upgrade at the goalkeeper position. We'll recap all the competitions we were involved in, as well as some of the notable ones around the world. Of course, PSG started the season with a victory in the Trophée des Champions with a 2-1 win against us. We redeemed ourselves, though, in the Coupe Nationale, winning that final 2-0 against Strasbourg, meaning that we'll be again involved in the Coupe des Champions next season. It was an all-Spanish final in the Champions League with Atletico Madrid winning that match 2-1 against Barcelona. As we turn our attention to the Europa League, a 2-0 victory for Arsenal against Borussia Mönchengladbach. We managed to find a lot of players through youth scouting in this episode, and I think we have a couple of options to choose from to promote in the next episode. I've already stuck a dev plan on players where their work rate, skill move, and weak foot combo won't change, but I don't mind switching that up and sending players out on loan come next season. We'll quickly scroll through the entire squad statistics in case you have any fan favorites that you want to keep track of in this career mode. And it's kind of a mixed bag for us because we had a lot of players go up in their overall, but also quite a few that went down in their rating. It's still kind of a rebuilding process for us at Marseille, despite performing fairly well in Champions League and domestically here in France, I think there's still a lot of improvements that we need to make to the team. Our manager rating is in the green, partly due to achieving our youth development objective of signing at least 2 players with potential greater than the average overall rating of players in that position. Brand exposure, we fell just 1 match short of picking up the 20 wins, but we did manage to sign at least 1 young player to the team. Financially, we've already met the long-term objective of improving the club's worth by 75%, domestically meeting both of these, finishing in a Champions League spot for Ligue, and reaching the semi-final of Coupe Nationale, and just barely fulfilling our target for Champions League and reaching the knockout stages. I'm expecting that these objectives will become more difficult for us next season, but we're always going to welcome a challenge here at Marseille. I want to spend some time thanking all channel members for supporting what we do here on YouTube. In case you are interested in learning about the membership program, you can either click the join button right underneath the video or the applicable link in the description. You get access to a few perks, including the use of emojis in the comment section, as well as chat for live stream. But we'll again showcase the squad at the end of season 1. This is where your feedback is going to be crucial. We've got some aging players in the squad, particularly Mandanda at goalkeeper and Alvaro at center back. I think improving at one of those 2 positions will be crucial, and if possible, I'll be trying to sign Milik on a permanent basis. But if you did enjoy this first season of Marseille and this episode in particular, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. But until next time, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to y'all again soon.